The Sunday roast sat untouched on my plate as Dad's fist hit the table. Mom's good china, the set she only brought out when my sister Emma visited, rattled against the silverware. Riley, are you even listening? Dad's face had turned red. The mortgage is due in 2 days. Do you understand what that means? I understood perfectly. It meant exactly what it had meant for the past 6 years. Another $3,200 transferred from my account to theirs. The same mortgage I'd been paying since Mom's emergency surgery that somehow required me to take over their house payments permanently. I heard you, Dad. I kept my voice level, watching Emma twirl her new BMW keys around her finger. Well, Mom leaned forward. Can you do it or not? Your father and I have sacrificed everything for this family. Emma laughed. Honestly, Riley, it's the least you can do. They put you through state school. State school. On a full scholarship they'd never bothered to understand. While Emma had gotten a new Audi for graduation and a Paris semester she dropped out of after 6 weeks. Actually, I said quietly as my phone buzzed, I need to take this. It's my bank. Dad's face darkened. We're having a family discussion. It's important. I stood, already walking toward the hallway. Behind me, Emma stage whispered, probably overdrawn again. She's so irresponsible. In the hallway I pressed the phone to my ear. Hi, James. Miss Chin. James Morrison's voice was crisp. He'd been my private banker at Morrison & Sterling for 3 years, ever since my investment portfolio crossed the 7-figure threshold. Confirming the transfer. The property deed will be registered in your name by tomorrow morning. Your parents will receive notification that ownership has transferred. Perfect timing, I murmured. One more thing. Our CEO, Catherine Yates, wants to meet you personally at tomorrow's Richmond Business Association Gala. She's quite impressed with your software company's growth. My software company. The one I'd built from my college apartment, now with 18 employees and Fortune 500 contracts. The one my family thought was some computer thing that barely paid my bills. When I returned to the dining room, 3 sets of eyes fixed on me. Well, Dad demanded. Can you cover it? I can cover it. I sat down, cutting into my cold roast beef. Mom's shoulders sagged with relief. See? Riley always comes through. It's called being responsible, Mom said. We taught you that. I thought about the $267,000 I'd transferred over 6 years. Mortgage payments. Emergency car repairs for Dad's Lexus. Credit card bills. Property taxes. While Emma got a condo down payment, a yearly finding herself allowance, and that BMW. Actually, I should mention, I got a call about some property transfers today. Dad's expression shifted. You're not having money trouble? Because we can't help you right now. No, nothing like that. Just routine stuff. I paused. I'm going to the Richmond Business Association Gala tomorrow night. At the Westin. I have a table. Would you like to come? Mom and Dad exchanged glances. Free expensive food, networking opportunities. Who else will be there? Mom asked. CEOs, business owners. The governor might attend. My bank CEO specifically asked to meet me. Emma laughed. Your bank CEO wants to meet you? Riley, you don't have to make things up. Just come. 7 p.m. Cocktail attire. Mom sniffed. I suppose it could be good for your father's connections. That night, in my penthouse condo downtown, the one my family had never visited because I said I was house-sitting, I made a list of everything they didn't know, and everything they were about to learn. The Westin's ballroom glittered with crystal and carefully maintained pretensions. I arrived in a midnight blue gown that cost more than 3 mortgage payments. My family arrived late, making an entrance. They immediately began scanning for important people. Is that Richard Morrison from the bank? Dad's eyes widened. Riley, could you introduce us? Richard Morrison. My investor. I'm sure there will be time. Then Catherine Yates arrived, 6 feet tall, silver hair, wearing power like perfume. She strode directly to our table. Riley Chin. Her smile was warm. I've been looking forward to meeting you. I stood, shaking her hand. He turned to my family. You must be Riley's parents. I've heard so much. We're so proud of Riley, Mom gushed. She's always been a hard worker. Indeed. Your daughter's company is one of the most impressive startups I've seen in 15 years of banking. Dad's forced confidence flickered. Yes, we always knew she had potential. Even with that state school education. Princeton, I said quietly. I went to Princeton on full scholarship. Mom's face went blank. You never said. I did. Several times. You called it, that school in New Jersey. Catherine's eyebrows rose. Riley's work speaks for itself. I understand your company is in acquisition talks? The figures are quite impressive. Emma's head snapped toward me. What acquisition? My software company. The one that just closed a $3.2 million revenue year. Silence. 3.2 million? Dad's voice trailed off. Revenue, yes. Profit was about $1.8 million. The acquisition offer is $10 million upfront, potentially $15 million with earnouts. Mom went white. Riley, if this is a joke. No joke, Catherine said firmly. Riley's been a valued private banking client for 3 years. In fact, I wanted to thank you for bringing her to our attention. What? Dad blinked. The mortgage transfers. When we noticed them, we reached out and discovered her business success. Very fruitful relationship. I watched realization dawn. 6 years of payments. $270,000. Riley, Mom's voice shook. You've been paying our mortgage with money from a multi-million-dollar company? Yes. Although that's changing now. Changing how? Emma's voice was sharp. As of this morning, I own the house. Bought it outright. The deed is in my name. I smiled. No more mortgage payments to make. The silence could have shattered glass. You bought our house. Dad's face cycled through colors. And Emma's condo. I've owned that mortgage for 3 months. You're 2 months behind on payments, by the way. My accountant wants to start foreclosure proceedings. Foreclosure. Emma went pale. You can't. I can. Standard mortgage agreement. I looked at my parents. And those credit cards in my name you've been using? I've reported them as fraudulent. Identity theft. $47,000 over 5 years. The district attorney is very interested. Dad stood abruptly. We're your parents. We raised you. You taught me family comes first, but only when I was sacrificing. You told me my career didn't matter except as funding for yours. That's not fair, Mom whispered. You've been spending. I showed them bank statements. Emma's car. Dad's golf membership. The Aruba vacation. Mom's emergency surgery that was cosmetic. I have receipts. The MC's voice boomed. Please take your seats for our awards presentation. Catherine squeezed my shoulder before returning to her table. Awards began. Community service. Healthcare innovation. My parents slowly understood where we were, what this meant. And now our final award. The Richmond Entrepreneur of the Year. This year's recipient started her company 8 years ago with nothing but a laptop. She's grown it to 18 employees, Fortune 500 clients, and millions in revenue. Please congratulate Riley Chin, founder and CEO of Chin Systems Integration. The ballroom erupted. I walked to the stage, the crystal trophy heavy in my hands. Thank you, I said into the microphone. This award means everything. I've learned that success isn't about who believes in you at the beginning. It's about believing in yourself even when no one else does. About knowing your worth even when others try to diminish it. My eyes found my parents. It's about understanding that family should be about love, not obligation and exploitation. And having the courage to set boundaries. To everyone who's been told their dreams are too small, this is for you. You are enough. You always were. The applause was deafening. After the ceremony, CEOs stopped by to congratulate me. Catherine returned with Richard Morrison himself, praising my remarkable vision. My family sat in silence. Finally, Dad cleared his throat. We need to talk. Not here. Not tonight. My lawyer will contact you tomorrow with documents about the house and Emma's condo. You'll have options. Payment plans, refinancing, potentially selling and downsizing. But automatic transfers are over. You're really going to evict us? Mom's voice broke. I'm going to let you face natural consequences of your choices. Personal responsibility, remember? That's what you told me when I asked for help with my emergency room bill and you'd spent your money on Emma's spring break. That was different, Emma said. It was exactly the same. Except now the power dynamic is reversed. I stood. The fraud charges are negotiable. My lawyer can arrange payment plans instead of prosecution. But that depends on acknowledging what you did and making restitution. You're blackmailing us, Dad said. I'm offering the same choice you offered me. Pay up or face consequences. The difference is what you did was illegal. What I'm doing is enforcing my legal rights. I walked away, then turned back. For what it's worth, I would have helped you. If you'd asked honestly. If you'd acknowledged my success. If you'd ever been proud of me for something other than solving your problems. But you didn't. So here we are. I left them in the emptying ballroom, finally understanding the cost of their choices. 3 weeks later, they signed payment plan documents in my lawyer's office. They'd sold the house, downsized to a modest 3-bedroom. Emma moved back in, her condo and BMW gone. The fraud charges were dropped in exchange for full restitution and probation. My credit was repaired. This concludes our business, my lawyer said. Dad looked at me across the table. Riley, we'd like to talk. When you're ready. Not about money. Just to talk. I thought about years of dismissal. About finally being seen. About the cost of that visibility. Maybe. Someday. But not yet. I walked out into the bright afternoon. My phone buzzed. Catherine asking about lunch to discuss the acquisition closing. I texted yes. Behind me, I could see my family still sitting at the conference table. Together but diminished. Finally understanding what they'd lost. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt free.